Well said. Good day for West Ham and David Moyes. But back-to-back away defeats in a week for Manchester United and their manager, Erik ten Hag.
Erik, the wrong result. Was it the wrong performance as well? Was it up to the high standards that you've been looking for?
First half, I think we played quite well and we created a lot of opportunities, and then maybe on the first occasion they score a goal, and then you're following facts, and of course disappointment about the result, same as Thursday. But I think we lost from ourselves, and now we have 1 week time as the first since Christmas. We have that. We need energy because both second halves were below the standards.
David De Gea, I mean, he's been a great goalkeeper over the years, but that was a terrible mistake, wasn't it, today?
Yes, but it's about individual. That is, mistakes are part of football, and then as team, you have to deal with it. You have to bounce back because it's a team sport. And as you said, over the season, he's the one with the most clean sheets, and also we did it as a team. But it can happen. It's part of football. But everyone has to take responsibility. But more important is, as a team, get a result.
You mentioned the drop in intensity and energy. Is that because you're playing so many games? I think Manchester United are playing the most games across the top 5 European leagues at the moment. Is that beginning to just show now?
Can be, but we can't be sorry for ourselves. We have to keep going, and we have to show character. It's only 4 games, and then you need the energy, and it's in your head, and make sure it's not in your legs. So get ready for the games, clear the head, energy, focus, and go on.
Frustration and the fact that you haven't hit the target again.
Of course, disappointed. We created, and we had the game in our hand, and then you following the facts when you give a goal away like this. But also in front of the goal, we had to be more clinical, because I counted 4 or 5 really good chances, and it was not by coincidence. No, it was well played.
Are you still confident you'll finish in the top 4?
That's what I just said in the dressing room. Come on, can happen. We showed in this season, we had some terrible setbacks, and every time we bounce back. So once again, show the character and go on.
Thanks, Erik.
You're welcome.
Erik ten Hag, I counted, used energy 5 times there. Let me tell you how many games they've played. 57 at the moment. They're going to play 62. And do you remember Liverpool's season last year? Everyone was saying they're playing too many games. That was only 63. And as he was saying there, it's the most in Europe's top 5 leagues.
Yeah.
Is it relevant? Is it an excuse? Is it irrelevant?
It's a bit of both. There's no doubt about it that it has an impact playing Saturday, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, whatever, for such a long time, when they haven't got that great squad. That's why I say he's to get them to where he has done, to where they are with a trophy in 4th, in a final. They just need another 3 weeks of energy. That's what they need, and then they can start and plan, and then they can look back and say it was a tough season, but it was a good season. Yeah. And they'll get their reward if they get through to the Champions League, into the top 4. It will be a huge disappointment because of the size of the club, because of what's going on in terms of, are they selling, are they not? Yeah. Are the owners going to stay, are they not? All these decisions need to be made, but also in the background, they need to get in the Champions League because of who and what they are.
Yeah. Absolutely, I totally agree with that, to be honest.
Well, let's have a look at the conundrum, because they say a week's a long time in football. A week ago, everyone was saying, well, that's the Champions League done. That's those positions sorted. And then suddenly, like I say, Liverpool are on this run now. They've won 6 in a row. They've got Leicester away, Villa home and Southampton away to play. They're a point off United, having played a game more, and they're 3 points off Newcastle, who go to Leeds on Saturday. Then Brighton, then Leicester at St James's. They finish at Chelsea. United's next 4, Wolves at home, Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Fulham at home. How concerned should Man United fans be?
I think they should be a bit concerned, especially when you look at the performance today. I didn't think they created enough good chances. I thought the chances they had were half chances, and what you want in that situation is people to hit the target. But I think Liverpool on the kind of run where I can actually not see them. I can see them winning their 3 games. And you look at Man United, especially like I said, with that performance, it's tough. It could be very tough for them because you feel like you can get at them, you can get to them. I've got no problems with Newcastle. I think Newcastle as well. I fancy Newcastle off of the back of that defeat today. They'll get themselves going again. They've got some games there that I think are winnable for them. But it's I think that United have got cause to worry there.
I should also point out that Brighton have 2 games in hand.
Mm-hmm.
If they win those 2, they're 2 points off Man United.
Yeah. I see Liverpool winning all those 3. I think they've won 5 on the spin now, 6 on the spin, and I can see them winning those 3, but I'm not sure it'll be enough. When you look at Man United's fixtures, what will be a huge help is 3 home games.
Yeah.
If that was the other way around, then I'd had serious concerns.
Yeah, because they've lost 8 away.
Because they've lost. That's why when you look at their away form, then. But I look at the 3 home games and who they were against, and also Newcastle. I look at their games against Leicester at home and Leeds away. I would be hopeful that they would win at least 2 of those 4, and I think that might be enough.
2 wins for Newcastle. But it might go a little bit further down the line than everyone was anticipating 7-10 days ago.
Yeah, because that's the beauty of the Premier League. All of a sudden it just turns on its head, and that's why everybody loves it so much. But it's very exciting right to the end.
I think it's been a fascinating season.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy season, but a fascinating one. And I think because of the World Cup, because of the games that were pushed together before the World Cup, and then of course the same again's happened after the World Cup, where games are just coming thick and fast, and squads are being pushed to the limit. And there's so much still to play for, both at the bottom and of course at the top, with Arsenal beating Newcastle today, which is they had to do, otherwise it was practically all over at the top of the Premier League. But because of Arsenal's victory, that's still going now. And we're talking about City and got Everton in between Real Madrid. This because of the way this just reluctant to say that it's all done.
There's more
still
twists.
a lot to play for in the next 3 weeks.
Righty thinks there's a lot of
There's more twists
still to come. Don't worry about it.
Still
There's
high
more
after
twists.
that win.
There's more twists.
Of the capital. In the end, despite all the other incidents, it was 1 goal that separated it. And as we said at half-time, Alan, it's not one that David De Gea will want to see again in a hurry.
No, it was an absolute howler, wasn't it? And his error has cost his team the points today. Not the first error he's made this season. Nearly got punished in the first half for a sloppy pass as well, which again has happened too many times. It's a problem we've got, because he's made too many of them in recent seasons. But what they'll have to look at is, in the summer, is that do they deem that a priority position, or are there more important positions? And in terms of financials, how much are they going to have to spend? We don't know that. But I'm sure that there's concerns in the management, that the errors that he keeps on making.
I think when you look at this as well, you look at the 3 defenders. They've got Benrahma kind of where they want him. He can't really get his leg back to get a really good strike on it. So from the defender's point of view, they've done very, very well to hold him up, to give him, so they don't give him the opportunity where he can really get his foot back and blast through it. And then your goalkeeper makes a mistake like that, and then you end up losing the game with it. And even in the start of the second half, he still gave a ball away, and they were very, very fortunate not to concede another goal. It's something that at some stage they're going to have to look at that position. You know what I mean?
But as Alan says, it's a dilemma without really knowing their budget, or indeed their owners.
Exactly.
And everyone's saying they need a striker. Yeah,
this is the one in the second half. It's just the concentration is not good, and they're very fortunate again not to give away another goal. But is it the priority position for them? You'd have to think maybe it's not, but. If we're talking about that decision and that goal maybe being the difference between them getting in the Champions League and not, then it's cost them a lot. I think he's fortunate there, because Mikel, I wouldn't say that he purposely tried to foul him, but you just look, anything you get around him bodies-wise, he is very, very shaky. I still can't understand how teams don't put in-swinging corners in every single opportunity to him. I still see people swinging corners out, and I would always swing them into him, because he's never comfortable in that situation.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And we've heard players say that They've targeted him in terms of when the back pass goes into him to put him under pressure quickly, because it's quite evident he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. He's not a goalkeeper that can do the job that Liverpool want him to do, or Man City want their goalkeeper to do. He doesn't do that at Man United.
Arteta wants...
Arteta, absolutely, yeah. He's not... They can't play that way at Man United because he can't do that.
I mentioned 8 goals in the last 10 games for Manchester United, the lowest in the last 10. Even Southampton have scored more goals, the bottom club, than Manchester United. Weghorst started, Martial came on. He had a couple of late opportunities where you feel he certainly should have done better. What could he have done better?
No, but I mean, whatever you think, my opinion is he's had enough time, Martial. You don't need to make any big decision on him. I think that decision is already made, or it should be made. He's been there long enough. He's had enough chances. He's not good enough to take Manchester United to where they want to go. If he was, he'd be starting on a regular basis and he would be scoring goals. He's had his time and it hasn't worked for him. That's my opinion about Man United.
With all due respect to him as well, you know, if you've got Weghorst starting in front of you, you know, then you've got a problem for me, because he's come on and he seems to have come on in a position where he's now the number 10. Now, you're going to look, there's a situation where I think, now he tries to go in there, but like, again, there's no real urgency to put the ball in the box. They're playing, it's like they want to try and get to the byline. They're trying to play it into the byline, playing it through, you know, places like this. Again, he's in a position here, right? He's trying to play a 1-2, doesn't get that right. They give the ball away again. And ideally, you want him up there. You want him on the last line of the defence. Now, you look at him and Sabitzer, he ends up getting the ball here, and I think he's going to try and play it into the forward. Now, those two players should be the other way around. Sabitzer should be where he is, and he should be where Sabitzer is. I don't know what's going on with Man United, but, you know, what was it, 3 shots today? Or something like that. It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
We could have been sat here another few hours and we never felt that they were going to find the back of the net. Now, that's not a problem that's just happened today. That happened the last game. And in fact, over the current months, it's an issue that they're going to have to work out. Having said all that, when you look at the bigger picture, they've got a trophy in the bag, they're in a cup final, and if they finish in the top 4, that'll have been a very successful season for them.
Particularly with that squad, do you feel, if that happens?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's doing it, and done up to now, a very good job, Erik ten Hag, under the current circumstances. But where they want to get to, because of the size of the football club and how quick they want to get there, there's no doubt they need reinforcements. Yeah. But, as I said again, the big picture is if, and it's a big if now, because Liverpool are well back in the hunt now, because of the last 2 results. It's been a really good weekend for Liverpool. Winning yesterday, Newcastle being beaten today, Man United being beaten today. So that's a good weekend for Liverpool. So they're back in the hunt. But if Man United finish in the top 4 and already have that trophy, I don't expect them to win the cup final, but they're in it, then that would be a really successful season given the squad that they have.
OK, bad day for Man United. Excellent one for West Ham United. And we can talk live now to their captain, Declan Rice. And there's that big smile. Thanks for joining us. We saw it at full time as well. What does that mean to you and the team today, Declan?
Yeah, it's absolutely massive today. Today was a fixture, you know, one that we looked at and thought we could win. And I have to say, I think that's probably barring the Arsenal game, that was probably our best performance at home this season. You know, we was on the front foot, aggressive, crowd behind us. It was obviously 1-0, but I think we could have had more. And I think defensively as well, we defended so good today, and it was a thoroughly deserved 3 points.
Yes, Declan Jollof Rice.
Righty, legend.
Yes, Dex. You know, I was going to say, did David Moyes say he wanted you lot to go at them? I know that where you were in the league and, you know, you need to get these points to make sure you can guarantee your safety. But did he say, let's have a go at them, let's go at Manchester United? Yeah,
100%. And I think us as players, we can sense that. We obviously, every time we play Man United here, it's a massive game. We always do well against United. And even watching them against Brighton the other night, you see what they done to United. And today we just said before the game, you know, me as a captain, let's be on the front foot, let's be aggressive, let's press, let's get in their faces and win second balls and do the nasty things. And I think we've done that really well. And then the quality come out on the end. And, you know, we managed to get massive 3 points, which was thoroughly deserved.
Hi, Declan. Well done today and a great performance from yourself.
you.
Give us a bit of an insight into a player's mind, because us as pundits have said all season we think West Ham are too good to go down. They've got too many good players.
Yeah.
But then give us an insight into your mind when you're not getting the results and then the pressure keeps mounting week after week. Does it becomes harder, eh?
100%. I'm not sure you've been there. You've won it all. But as a player, you're spot on in terms of, a player has a lot of faults, and especially when you're down there, you can't help but look at other fixtures, the teams around you, what they're doing, and then the pressure's ultimately on yourself. And even though we had that 4-point gap today from the bottom of the table, it still wouldn't have been enough if we didn't win today. So, in our minds, it was a must-win. We knew we've got Brentford away next, and then we end with Leeds and someone else, Leicester away. So we knew today was the one. And like I said, as a player, these are the games you want to play in. You're playing Man United at home in front of 60,000. As a kid, the whole world are watching. Go out there and perform and do it right. And from minute one today to the end, we thoroughly done that.
Does it feel a lot more comfortable now going into like the semi-finals, the European game, and does it feel a lot easier in your minds now?
Yeah, I would say getting the 3 points today and now seeing the gap between us and the boys at the bottom, it has definitely eased us a little bit, and now we can put real focus onto that semi-final. But of course, mathematically, they always say you need the 40 points. So we're still going to go to Brentford and put out a strong side. And look, we've not had a great year as a bunch of players. We know that. So let's try and end the season strong. And there's a great chance for us to do that.
Absolutely. And for yourself, Billy Bonds, 1980, last West Ham captain to lift the trophy. You're 3 games away from it.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of captaining the side last year, and obviously we lost in the semi-final to Frankfurt. And I've been fortunate enough to play in some finals for England and big matches, so I now know what is required to go on and win. We have some great top international players who have won stuff. It's just about on the night. You can't get carried away with the occasion. You've got to play your stuff and let everything fall through. But we're prepared for it, and look, let's try and end the season strong.
Well, good luck on Thursday. Very well played today.
You. Great speaking to you guys again.
Well done.
Thank
I love you, Declan.
I love you too, right? See you later, mate. Bye-bye.
I love him so much.
How well does he speak as well as he plays?
Brilliant.
There's a freshness to the, and there's an honesty about him in some players. You don't often see that. And if he doesn't have a bad game, it's not for the one to try. And I think that's why he's got so much respect in the game.
OK, that was the West Ham captain. Here is the West Ham manager, David Moyes.
Your smile says it all. Your reaction at the end of what was a pretty exhilarating night here.
Yeah, it was I want to be respectful. Manchester United is a club which I've managed, so I've got great respect for them. But it was more, I felt like sort of clapping my own owners, because there was times this year where they could have made a change and things might have gone against them. So I felt like applauding them for how well they were to stick with me at different times this season.
It was 1-0 for a long time. Of course, that's a precarious lead. It's a slender advantage. But for the most part, did you feel confident that you would maintain it and perhaps add to it? I mean, you did have the ball in the net on another couple of occasions.
We did. I thought in the second half, the amount of opportunities, chances we made, the pressure. But what we always know is Manchester United are so good. They've got quick players. They're very good in the counter-attack as well. Rashford's a huge threat. So, every time they came up the pitch, we had to defend in numbers to try and make it difficult. But we were able to see it through, defend, we counter-attacked quite a bit ourselves and got ourselves some opportunities. But I thought when it was 1-0, we were the better side and deserved to get 2-0 up.
Clearly you needed this win in a big way tonight. When you see your team play like they did at Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago and win 4-0 and see the way that they played tonight, are you left scratching your head a little bit as to how you were in the position in the table that you have been in recent weeks?
Well, I thought we've played better in recent weeks. There's been some games where we've not. But, I think tonight, to be fair to Manchester United, they had an incredibly short recovery time. But of all the teams in the Premier League, we've had the most games where they've only had 2-day recovery in all the Premier League this season. So I know what it feels like, and they probably were feeling it tonight. But overall, look, our players have been resilient, done a great job, and they've done it really well tonight.
I don't know if you'll answer this, but do you think 37 might be enough?
I probably won't answer it, but I know that if I was one of the other teams, I would be thinking that it's a bit far away at the moment. Getting the points at the moment, this time of the year, is really difficult. But while it's not enough, we have to here at West Ham, we have to go and try and at least win another game or two.
And this has set you up beautifully, hasn't it? Momentum-wise, going to such a big game on Thursday, that semi-final.
Yeah, it's a huge sort of week or two for us. I thought the crowd were fantastic, but no wonder the way the players played tonight. You know, they saw how the players performed, the character the players showed, the passion they showed. And we, look, we're talking about Manchester United, who are challenging in the Champions League, and we put on a really good show.
Enjoy what's left of the weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, huge week for West Ham. We'll come to that in a moment. That's taken them to 37 points. That, as I say, in 10 of the last 11 seasons has been enough.
Yeah, it's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough now. I know mathematically not, but they won't be caught on that. They can go into Thursday's game full of confidence, knowing that the worry of relegation, in my opinion, has gone.
Yeah.
And I know there's 3 games and 2 semi-finals, and we talked earlier on about Arsenal using last season's disappointment at Newcastle to oppose. Declan touched on the disappointment of losing in a European semi-final last season. Mm-hmm. If they can get to a European final, if they can get a first trophy since 1980 and get 40 points in the Premier League, how good a season's that?
It's amazing. You'd probably take that at the start of the season. You get 40 points, but you're going to win a European final.
Probably take that.
Of course they'd take that. You'd have to take that.
Yeah.
And it would be fantastic for them as well. They'd forget everything what's happened. You know, it'd be good for them. And you talk about losing in a semi-final. It's the worst to lose in. It's the worst one. So you do learn from the fact that you know the feeling of that, and that's why it gives you that extra impetus to push harder, so as you don't have to feel that disappointment again. And that's what hopefully they're going to do.
I mean, you've got to give David Moyes great credit, you know, because his job was under huge threat not so long ago.
Yeah,
there was a lot of noise coming out of West Ham that people were eyeing up his job. Different managers were out of work, and there's no doubt about it that different agents would have been ringing the owners up and saying, "Change the manager."
You have to praise the owners here as well. When we see other clubs panic, and
they've stuck with David Moyes, and we're now talking about it could be one of their great seasons.
It was 1980 since they won a trophy.
And what was it, a month ago, we're on about this guy losing his job. I mean, doesn't that tell you how crazy football is sometimes? So, well done for them for sticking with him, and well done for him for keeping his head, trying and keeping the squad calm. And as I said, in my opinion, that's enough now, and they can go and concentrate on those 2 semi-final games.
West Ham with the advantage by 1-0 then against Manchester United at half-time. 27 minutes in, the first effort on target, and a horrible moment for David De Gea, Alan.
Another horrible moment for David De Gea. I mean, it's just a mess, isn't it, from him to what should be a basic save. Got no power behind the shot, really. He should collect that with ease. I haven't got a clue what he's trying to do. I don't know.
I go back. I think that he's a goalkeeper that's not had enough pressure from a number 2 for many years. And every season you're seeing a mistake of this magnitude. That is a run-of-the-mill save. That's a save that you make if your goalkeeper gets injured and your number 9 goes in. You make that save. You know, that's the kind of save that you have to make. And, you know, at some stage, you know, United are going to have to sort out their goalkeeping situation simply because he makes too many of those for me now. Too many. And it's because
he hasn't been good. He's not good enough with his feet either.
No.
We've heard and seen players and managers say that they target him and they go for him. So they're seeing him as a weakness in their team now.
It's a weakness.
OK, West Ham, as we saw right on the stroke of half-time, felt they should have had a penalty when this struck Victor Lindelof. Wasn't given on-field by Peter Banks. VAR Stuart Atwell's had a look, and he's happy with the on-field decision. Take it away.
He's wrong.
A mess for me. I think that's as clear as handball as you're likely to see. He puts his arm out towards the ball. It's a terrible position for him to be in, and him trying to rectify that position. He puts his arm out for it, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know, the referees and the assistants and VAR and the lawmakers have tied themselves up in knots in terms of trying to perfect get this handball law, that it is now a complete and utter mess. And I think they've confused the referees to hell, that they don't know what they're doing anyway because of it. I really think they're so confused. It's a complete and utter mess, the handball law.
You could with that one, I'd love, as much as I'd love seeing Dermot, I'd love Stuart Atwell to come out and say why.
He's not allowed to, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, why at some stage?
Well, that's another debate for another. At the moment, he's not allowed to come out, so we can speak to Dermot. And Dermot, the big question earlier on when we spoke to you was that a clear and obvious error to overturn, which you felt it was? So the same question there. Is that a clear and obvious error? Should that have been overturned and be a penalty?
I think it's a penalty. I think it's a penalty because I think he gets in a mess. He moves his arm towards the ball. He tries to get out of the way, but by trying to get out of the way, actually moves his arm towards the ball. You see there, his arm comes out, so it's away from the body. I think what happens is the VAR looks at it, thinks his hand where it's hit it is tight to his body, but I think he's got really lucky. When you look at it, the more you look at it, the more you see the arm come out, the shape of his body.
Derms, can I just say, the thing with it is, Derms, and you need the person who's making the decision to tell us why, is because of that reason. You know, for whatever reason, he's got himself in a tangle, his arm has come away and he's handballed it. So why isn't that given as a penalty? It's just, you know, you've said it's a penalty. I would like to know why that's not a penalty. That's what I want to know.
All I can think, right, is he feels that, you know, it's his arm's close to his body, but when you look at it, each time you look at it, it seems to get further away. You
Absolutely.
know, you look at it there.
Can you understand the frustration and the anger of pundits, of players, of coaches and managers because of situations like what have happened today, the one we're talking about just now? Can you understand why we all get so angry at that? The lack. I don't know. There's a lack of consistency. Can you understand it?
I think you summed it up, Alan, a little bit earlier when you said, you know, UEFA have tried to perfect it, and by trying to perfect it, they've actually caused more problems.
London Stadium ahead of our game, a clear night. My name is Derek Ray. With me in the commentary box is Arsenal legend Lee Dixon. I'm very much looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League. It's West Ham United versus Manchester United.
Yeah, Derek, cracking atmosphere as usual here. That will lead to a nervy, energetic start. Frenetic, fast play to begin with before it all settles down. I'm really looking forward to this one.
Now, far from a smooth challenge. Now, will the referee produce a card? We've barely got started and already a yellow card. Now, will that be potentially problematic for player and official?
Well, it will be, because the player's on the tightrope now. He's now thinking about everything that goes in front of him.
Declan Rice. Antonio. Oh, what an opportunity. Oh, masterful defending to prevent what looked like a certain goal. Bruno Fernandes. And possession given away. Well, they get the ball once more. Encouraging stuff from United. Cavani. Alas. Shaw. An alert intervention. United come away with it. Advantage, Manchester United. Oh, big chance. Oh, crucial tackle. Brilliant. Declan Rice. Rice must take the lead here, and they have. You've got to say, it has been coming.
Well, here it is again. The through ball is perfectly timed. It causes havoc, and when he gets through to the keeper, he just smashes it past him and gives him no chance to think. A lovely finish.